Hello, and welcome to episode 42 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm your host, LaurenWhatevs, here with my other hosts that are always on the show. Haven't missed an episode yet. Ben and Ree. How were your weeks in Snap? And keep it snappy. Ben?
Okay, I am introing Ben's. I'm stealing it. I'm introing Ben's week in Snap because although we talked... Wait, what did I say?
No, you're good. I just said you're hijacking Ben's.
Okay, I thought I didn't. I'm like, sometimes I say really wrong words. Okay.
No,
No, Ben talked about this deck last week, but he must simply discuss it again because the Heimdall Zorn deck he made last week is what got me to my last minute InfiNOT before the end of the season. Climbed all the way up from 87 into like the late 90s on the move day hot location. And then that's the hardest, like getting from yo-yoing between 95 and 100. And then afterwards I was just like, well, it was still a great deck before the location, so I just played it across lane. It's the first time I've ever played a move deck to cross InfiNOT, and it's a fabulous deck, and I would love for Ben to talk more about it.
Oh gosh, well thanks. I will talk more about it because I gotta be honest, I've been playing it too. I wanted to play some other things. I'm out here believing in Morgan Le Fay. I'm sure there's something there. I can't be bothered to find out what it is because I'm too busy playing Vultures and Red Wings and shit. Oh my gosh, this deck is so much fun. For those who've forgotten, it's Batroc, the Leaper, Scream, Craven, Zorn, Spider-Man, Silk, Hydra Stomper, Vulture, Red Wing, Cannonball, Heimdall, and Magneto. He sure is Magneto. You know. That's the little joke that I make in my head all the time. Anywho, I'm having a lot of fun with it. When last I checked its stats after 50 games played, it had exactly a 70% win rate, 35-15, baby. Shit ton of cubes. I took a screenshot because the tab is very resource intensive on my browser. What's that cube rate? It's still above 1. 54 net cubes in 50 games. So that's pretty cool. Feels strong. I've been playing it on ladder for the climb. I'm going to play it in Golden Gauntlet 2 on Saturday. Hey, you know what? I'm not the only person who's going to be playing it in Golden Gauntlet 2 on Saturday. That's right. I was reached out to by one Devilish Plays. Maybe you fucking heard of him. And he's also going to be playing my Zorn deck because everybody loves it. Because it just, it owns bones. I don't know what to tell you. It gets results. But other stuff in my weekend Snap and Snap adjacent things, I can just tell, I can smell it. It's coming any second now. There's going to be a new major update for Hades 2, probably by the end of the month. That's just my feeling. So I was like, ooh, I better get some more 32s up on the surface before things change. So I've got one with Discura, the default aspect of Melanoi version of Discura that just does Omega moves a little bit faster. It's not the Momus one that everybody fucking loves. Everybody loves the aspect of Momus because, you know, spams the moves. Every version of Momus has been very popular, I think, with people because there's usually something broken about it. But I like boring ass Melanoi Discura. So that's how I do. There's a new season of the Bazaar starting probably like right now today that I haven't been able to play. I guess Dooley's getting relics. What does this little robot have to do with relics? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out this season, I think. Other than that, yeah, just been playing that Zorn deck. I played one game with Auto Merlin. I'll tell you how that went later.
Great.
Really outside of the purview of this segment.
Did you draw him?
No, I didn't.
Good.
I did the weekend missions. I made sure to do the weekend missions this weekend, getting back on that horse. Played some Esme. I also got the Conquest variant from last season. So I'm trying to do the chores that are worth doing. Although, oh my gosh, this month is going to be a little more chore heavy with these modes on modes on modes on modes. But, hopefully I can hold my nose for high voltage. Maybe the new twist on it will make the game more fun for me, but I'm looking forward to Sanctum Showdown. Yeah, it's just, it's been a good week in Snap and Snap adjacent things. I have more fun when I'm winning, and I win more when I'm having fun. And it's just self-perpetuating little vicious cycle of, except it's not vicious. It's all quite positive, I must say. So yeah, it's been a good week in Snap for me.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I also played your Zorn deck. It did not treat me very well, but it is how I finished the Zorn weekend missions. Might have been a piloting issue. It felt more like a luck issue. Like the matchups and the locations were just not friendly. But yeah, anyway, Ree, your week.
Okay. Oh, and you didn't tell me. I was gonna be like, I'm actually gonna keep it snappy because we're gonna try for once, because that's not how I do.
Keep it snappy.
Yeah, because we're trying to keep it shorter because it's your wedding this weekend. We're all excited. Yay, Lauren. Okay.
We are.
So I did, as I said, I did get the Conquest variant that I grinded out from not even halfway purchased, and InfiNOT. And to be honest, I would respect myself more if I hadn't been in place these arbitrary markers on my self-worth because, while it's like, okay, now I can continue to say I always get InfiNOT, it's like I did use time that I should have been present for other people. I'm only admitting this because none of them listen to, if they even know, do a podcast. But I got to InfiNOT in the very beginning of my Pathfinder Goblin session, which we play over Zoom. And I was just like, I was so close. I had been trying to get it done before, and I'm just going to finish it out. And, and I didn't, and it didn't feel super good. It was like, okay, I got it done, but I'd been like not paying attention, which I already have attention issues to the beginning. And then after, though, I got done, I was like, okay, I'm fully present for this campaign. And we had like the best session we ever had. Like one of my friends afterward just messaged it all like, oh, everyone made like the coolest choices. This is so fun. I mean, this is a Goblins campaign. We're all goblins in it. The idea is we're
so
like
jealous.
Yeah, I like my character was the inspiration for our setup where we were all the court of the goblin royalty. But a coup happened, so we all had to like flee the palace, and like that's how it begins. It's we're all like running away as the witch queen. She was part of my coven because I'm a goblin witch. She was slain, and now we're all fleeing. And then one character is like a random circus freak we picked up on the way. They're just like goblin trash compared to some of us Upper-Crust goblins. Anyway,
Upper-Crust goblins.
So, I know it's fun. And my character, I just got a feat where I can instantly grow my hair and turn it into a bludgeoning weapon. And it's, and I have a familiar, toad called Pog, that I spend too many feats on. Just, building him homes and stuff. Anyway. So the lesson is, don't be me. Don't play Snap and grind out stupid video game achievements over being present with your friends for really fun Goblin Pathfinder sessions. I won't do that again.
I don't think that's the moral of your story.
Tell my D&D group it's Slay the Spire for me. That's usually what I've got cooking.
See, you said, though, that it ended up being the best session ever, so maybe that's the recipe. You have to be distracted on Snap for the first few minutes.
Okay, but that was the difference, was that, because see, the problem with D&D is if it goes way too long in between my turns,
that's the
thing. Or the party is split,
it's combat and it's boring.
Hour goes by. Yeah, and it's just and then it's just oh, we can't, So
or a scene that you're not present for, that you're not even supposed to know what's happening. Like, you know, like it's my responsibility as like a steward of the narrative to not pay attention during those conversations. So I'm actually like making it more flavorful and like immersive. This is realism
I truly don't know about this
by screwing off and playing Slay the Spire.
As somebody who is usually the DM, it is very hard to make combat fun and exciting. That is a place I struggle with.
Fast. It has to be fast and exciting.
Yeah.
My problem with D&D is they never let me. I usually am like, okay, here's the mechanic I'm doing, but here it is described epically by my character. I'm like, I attempt to use my leaping ability to climb on and like stab the dragon set, and like I have, and it's like it would make sense. Like, it's a thing that, like, in this world, I feel like could be done. I'm not overreaching. And then, and it's like, you can have me, you know, roll extra things and fail, and then they'll just look at me and be like, well, but like, you can't really, like, that's not like, you know, do you want to make a basic attack? Or like, and I'm like, I'm not playing a video game. Let me have fun. Anyway.
Yeah, use like the strength of the format. I don't know. I try to keep it. I try to so many things to make it faster and snappier, more interesting. But I think the answer is to keep it more narrative, which a lot of games do better than D&D.
This is true.
Yeah. Do you have more in your week?
Pathfinder's great. My hair is my weapon.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Also, I have something called a twig jack sack. I immediately saw, like, what the fuck is that? My witch needs those little, like, twig jack sack bombs. They explode into, like, paraphernalia branches and whatnot. They're little bombs. Twig jack sacks. This sounds just so fun to say. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done. Oh, I'm way past. I meant to keep it way shorter than this on my weekend stuff.
You're fine.
Ree knows I love goblins. That's why I'm jealous. I have long been planning an all goblins campaign, but I just I don't know. My best friend moved away like 2 years ago, and it's been very hard to get D&D going since. Anyway, my week in Snap. I also pulled off getting the Conquest kitty like kind of last second. I don't know how I feel about Conquest mode. It is very strongly dependent on whether or not I have a deck that I feel like is doing well in Conquest. Just kind of what Ben was saying. Like, the game's more fun when you're winning, and that's
game's
true.
more fun before Bullseye ever, like, came into existence. You suck, Bullseye.
Yeah.
That's how I feel from my heart.
Yeah. I just think that effect is stronger for me in Conquest mode. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sit in the same match with an opponent I'm not, you know, like a bad matchup or something. I don't want to be trapped in there with them.
I feel like the thing I like about Conquest, and the reason I feel like I play better in Conquest, is because I can beat them later. Like, I need everyone I run into on ladder to like know that like I was supposed to win that one, you know, or whatever. Like, but like if you can just like if you can just retreat when you're supposed to retreat, like a logical, rational person, I find that easier to do in Conquest. Because like I can beat them later. I can let them have this first cube, but like I'm never going to see that ladder person again, and I need to throw my all at it. I don't know. It's very silly.
Yeah. I do like the Conquest comeback, and it's something I'm decently good at. I think I start playing better after I've seen 2 or 3 games of the opponent's deck, which I mean, I guess is probably true of everybody, but like for me, I'm better at reacting to knowing what they have than I am at guessing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's true for everybody, but probably more so for you than the average player. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like the relative strength of those skills, I feel like I have to sacrifice some early cubes, and then I can swing it. I don't know. Anyway, I've made it up to 80 on this season, and I'm using an old version of Derek's Bast Havoc deck. It's great. I swapped out Rocket Raccoon and Groot for Surge when Surge came out, and it's been doing excellent. People are very good at underestimating how much you can output with a deck that, you know, caps out at 3 cost cards. Mm-hmm. Sure, Ben can attest to that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's Wedding Central even more than usual over here. Getting married, and I will be married in less than 48 hours. So yeah, got my nails done.
Exciting.
They're
Oh,
black and sparkly, like my
Looking
dress.
fresh to death.
Getting my haircut with my kid tomorrow. It's really just like all coming together. And we're doing an episode anyway because I don't know, there's a patch and I like talking to you guys, and yeah. So last week's card. Do we have more Zorn things to say, or were those covered in Weekend Snap?
Nope, he's still awesome, and we're still the only podcast that's going to tell you so.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah, I think mostly I've seen cooler takes on Zorn for sure. Okay, new cards. There were supposed to be 4. There ended up being 6, so there's a lot to talk about. We'll get into that in a second. Merlin, our season pass card. Do I read him again? Sure. 2/3 at the start of each turn, add an incantation to your hand. The incantations are all 1-cost skills. We have Omniversal Presence, which replaces the location and gives Merlin 2 power. Polymorph, which takes the lowest power card there and upgrades it by 1 cost, does a Cersei to it. And then once in future, which shuffles the lowest power card back into your deck, and then next turn you get +2 energy. Did you get him? Well, yeah, we all got him. Have you tried Merlin yet?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't.
It's pretty much all I've played since the season began is Merlin and Nicholas Scratch. I got all the new cards that one could get on the updated game, I guess.
Yeah, me
I
too.
put together a deck called, of course, Pew Pew Magic Missile. Because it's got Agamotto. Because, of course, if you're playing... you're not playing Scratch, to be honest, I think, if you're not playing Agamotto with the current set of cards that are out. And it started as I'm like, oh, maybe it's just kind of more of a good cards deck. Because I really want to play Copy. I love Copycat. And, she's going in this fucking deck. And then, of course, it kind of turned into a werewolf deck, because anytime you have a lot of little cheap on reveals, you're slamming around.
Yeah, I've heard he's
where you
good
got a
with
wolf.
Merlin.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I build a Merlin deck, that's the avenue I intend to explore.
So, and then, it's fun. It's my kind of deck, and it's ladder deck. It's a surprise deck because Legion still wins a lot of games. Especially when you're playing this wacky deck that nobody knows what's in it, people can maybe expect it if you're seeing your Arisham or something, that regularly runs it. But the thing with Merlin is, you need to have small cards you want to cycle back into your deck. Because a lot of times, because the best one, usually, you want to get more energy, or you're buffing Merlin and changing locations. And so, a little card like Spider-Ham is great. Another thing Spider-Ham does, if you play him in the same lane as Merlin, he protects your Merlin from a Red Guardian. So those little 1-drops that are out are great to play with Merlin because he is a valuable target for Red Guardian. The same thing, I have Sam Wilson in this deck because the shield is still just a really good utility. And especially with Clog out and stuff you can move around and temporarily fill a location is always good. But other things the shield is great for is, once again, you can use Merlin to cycle it for extra energy. Doesn't matter, you didn't draw Sam Wilson. It's another body for images to turn it into another Agamotto or Werewolf or, oh man, once I was playing Surtur and I shanged him. And then I such a silly use. And then I turned everything on the last turn. They're like, they already played their Shang. And then the last turn I just turned everything into Shangs. One. That's why Agamotto is so fun. You can do the silliest stuff with the images card situationally. So my first Nick Scratch ever that I played was a 1/9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them get big.
But yeah, especially things if you're getting multiple Merlins out and you're just throwing out a bunch of spells, making your werewolf big, all of that. all of that is great. And so, and I feel like Rogue has been kind of felt really good in this meta. Like, there's usually some deck she can, like, you know, even if it's just discards Morbius or whatever. I've been choosing her over, like, the Jug beat me hard recently, and I was like, I miss my Jug days. But playing Rogue over Red Guardian right now. Right. And Shang. I got Disco Shang. I couldn't resist. With the roller skates. He's all in that, like, fighting roller skates pose.
The Discos were really fun. And I like that it's a whole album where they're all different artists. I think that's cool.
Are they comic book covers? Is that
I think they are actually from comics, yeah. Which maybe that's why they're different.
I think that's why they have separate artists and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
like
way more interesting than these
good
studio albums. Oh my gosh. I roll my eyes just out of my skull on those. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it depends on the studio. Creative House Pocket, I like those. Pandart,
Oh, last thing about my deck is Kate is bad. I know I was complaining last week I couldn't play her. But, like, she's another, I mean, right, the arrows are great for bodies. It was arrows that became Shangs for me. They're great for bodies for images. They're great for pinging around werewolf. If you didn't get that, they're great for sending back into your deck for extra energy from Merlin. I have Eliath in my big last slot card. Because if I don't get werewolf and some other stuff, sometimes I feel like I need another big card in the deck, so maybe Eliath will go. But Cerebro is like a fucking menace right now for some reason.
I mean, it's definitely a presence.
It got +3.
Right? I looked out into a game right before the podcast where there was the location where you can't play 1s, 2s, or 3s. The name is escaping me. And they'd already kind of filled up their other lane with their 2s. As soon as I see a Sinister roll out now. I used to think bot, and now I'm like, it's C2. And I knew, so they only had one place because I had Winds of Watumsum, so they'd filled the other location. I knew they were going to have to move their Nightcrawler and play Cerebro there. So I lost Prio and just played Rogue after it. And I'm like, I hope they were like, how did she fucking know? And I'm like, well, because it was obvious, but it would be fun. Okay. They're like, she's fucking magic. Okay. Anyway. So yeah. The arrows be good for all sorts of things.
Yeah,
that's
really
what I've been doing with Nick and some wizard fun. I wanted to make the deck name a reference to The Prestige, the movie. But then,
I mean, Pew is valid. Yeah, I look forward to trying that. I haven't played Merlin yet. I really wanted to, but then I came up with an idea for a clip that uses Morgan, and so that's how I spent last night. But I would like to try. Him. And Nicholas Scratch, we did not say, is a 1/2 after you play a skill +1 power. He's one of the series 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the only Merlin you tried was, you've seen several Nicholas Scratches, really. Mm-hmm. I think I've seen one.
I've beaten every single one of them.
But I've also seen Jennifer Kale.
But some of them got big.
Yeah.
I have not yet seen it.
Maybe I saw one
Jennifer Kale.
I did, and it felt nothing. Like, they always got her out and activated her, and I'm like, I should try and see if it did anything for him, and then I always forgot, because, like...
But yeah, the card I've seen the most of is by far Merlin. I think maybe I've seen like 1 Morgan, 1 Jennifer Kale, 3 Nicholas Scratches at least. I believe exactly 3, and I think I took a screenshot every time.
I've seen mostly
some
Merlin.
of them got big. They I will say, I still don't think it's a good card. I don't think the spell deck is ready for prime time, and I think that Nicholas Scratch basically functions as like a warning sign saying like, keep out, I don't know, under construction, fucking tetanus nails here, don't play here, kids. They're like, come back later. There'll be a fine spell deck merry-go-round in this location, and it won't give you tetanus probably. So yeah, the spells deck will be fun whenever it's for real, is my feeling.
I can definitely see replacing Nicholas Scratch right now in the deck, especially with another on reveal kind of thing for Werewolf. It's been more that he's been the new card. Jennifer Kale, honestly, if they're gonna keep her energy or her ability the same, the activate, gain 1 energy next turn,
Why couldn't she be a 2/3?
I feel like I honestly feel like she should just wait. What is she? I thought she was a 2/2.
She's a 2/2, but she was going to be a 2/3, right? Like I didn't imagine that. There was a point at which she was a 2/3.
She should be. Honestly, I think they should make her like a 3/5 or 3 something and make her a surfer card. Like that's where I could see playing her if you want to do a surfer absman or something.
Yep, I like that.
Right?
I'd play a 3/5 for Kale.
But you're not going to put her in if she's not also going to be buffed by Surfer, right? Like, it's not worth it at a 2. Like, she needs to be like a 3 with some power.
I think she might be okay in Surfer because she lets you play 2/3s on 5.
Yeah.
Right? That's true. Although, 5 can be
I'm
an
more excited about the 7-on-6 for the Surfer and abs.
That's fair. I mean,
either one. It's just that like Hope does both of those sometimes in the same game.
Yeah.
Like Hope is like, play 2/3s on 5 and play your Absorbing Man and Surfer on 6.
Well, and in Surfer, you don't want to play her on 3 or 4. So it's like, and playing her on 5 is useless because she's an activate. So you have to draw her on curve. So yeah. The more I thought about her, because I did my like Twitter rankings after I did the podcast rankings. That's usually how I do it. And I still put her low, but I was like, maybe I'm underestimating her because there is unique stuff that she can do versus a Psylocke or a Luna, which is that you can play her on 2 and then you can play a 3 that isn't your ramp 3, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, Luna does everything she does. So it's like, okay, so what is that? Like, is it Jennifer Kale into Storm into Legion? Like, that doesn't do a lot anymore. It would still lock the game out, but a turn later.
But are you winning? Like, are you ahead there? Probably
you're spending
not.
2 energy on Jennifer Kale, are you?
I think you've fallen behind.
Right. So, yeah, I won't be surprised if somebody comes up with uses for her, but mostly I think she still just seems bad. It's like
nobody asked for this.
Yeah, very few jobs that she's the best at. I've seen people trying to put her in like She-Hulk decks because
maybe
that lets you pass 6 energy on turn 5.
Sounds like a thing, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Again,
you've got Luna Snow. You've just got better
you're just
tools
fucking up
for
your
energy
curve
generation.
if you're playing her. Like, 2/2 is wrong for her.
I agree.
Yeah. I think she could be a 1/2 or a 2/3 and it would be just fine. Or a 3/5.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, why does she have to have bad stats on top of like an inherently like undesirable like ability? Like her mechanical identity is like already so bad. Why do you have to make her a 2/2? Like, it's just rude. And insult to injury.
I get like if she can enable every combo that Luna can't, or other way around, Luna can enable almost every combo that Jennifer Kale can, but it's a different drawback. Instead of giving your opponent 1 energy, you're dealing with an activate ability. Like, I kind of get that, but she just does not have enough juice to be worth it.
But like Luna is more exciting in every way, just like better stats, more interesting like gameplay stuff, like just a cooler card. I mean, I understand Series 4 is supposed to be like bad or boring or whatever, but like, come on. This card has no reason for being, as far as I can tell.
Okay. Yeah, I think she'll get buffed. Morgan Le Fay, 4/7. This is our Series 5 card. On reveal, return all your discarded and destroyed cards to hand with +3 power. Did you get her? Did you play her?
Got her, yes. Played her, no.
Same. I realized my strat because we had talked about like, hey, are we gonna have to pick and choose cards coming out? And I started thinking, and I realized like my whole strategy is just to be collection complete as efficiently and quickly as possible. So I'm always just going to open the lower cost packs. So I guess therefore, my new strategy as opposed to spotlight planning that I used to do is just like get cards and they come out and from the lower snap packs and just hope I can get them fast enough. I don't know.
That's my strategy so far too, but I don't know what I'm going to do when it gets too tight.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Also, I think I explained this off of the air, but for the listeners, I skipped Nicholas Scratch and Jennifer Kale. I do not have those cards, and I hopefully will not for a while.
See, I think that's like a commitment though, because the Series 4 packs are 3 seasons long. So
it's true. I'll probably open them accidentally, but I was able to get Hellion and Mercury without chancing it.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I did play Morgan. I put her into a deck where I'm playing Bullseye, Magic, Prodigy. So I have 2 Bullseyes. And then on turn 6, I'm playing Morgan and Grandmaster. So a Bullseye, discard my hand full of 1s. Morgan, bring them back. Prodigy, discard my hand full of 1s. Grandmaster, bring them back. Did a total of 20 affliction to the enemy and added 30 buff to my hand. And then on turn 7, I just played a bunch of very high power 1s. It was a very cool clip. I got it about 4 or 5 times in the span of 2 hours. So it's not real. Yeah.
Lauren, I at least can appreciate that you're hurting me with Bullseye in a different way than I've been hurt before.
I was kind of laughing when you were laughing to myself when you were talking about your Bullseye. Hey, I do not like Bullseye either. I think he is way too strong. But in fact, one of the clips that I had where like I got the combo, I lost because the enemy Bullseye just popped off even better than I did. I think if I'm remembering correctly, it was one that had cloning vats, and they had like 4 collectors on the board. It was lovely, honestly. Anyway, it always cracks me up. I post the clips. It's on Twitter and Blue Sky, and people are always like, "Sick Cook! I can't wait to play this deck." And I'm like, when I post the deck image, I'm like, "Do not play this deck. Like, unless you're looking to do a clip yourself, this is not a real deck. You cannot climb with this." Like, I've had like maybe 2 of my clip hunting decks ever that like actually have a hit rate high enough to have a positive cube rate. This was not one of them, not even close. But very cool card. Her animation is fun. She does this little spinny thing, and then your cards like trickle back into your hand with sparks of purple magic. I think the +3 is good.
Purple magic.
Her 4/7 is hard. When I was first planning this out, I was trying to think of a way to use Killmonger and Bullseye, but it's just like too expensive to be playing the 1s twice, to be paying for them twice. So I do think discard's the way to do it. But like, how do you do that? I don't know how you do that without, I think maybe it's Bullseye. Like Bullseye needed another synergy, because if you do MODOK, you're going to risk blowing up your Morgan Le Fay. Like,
I've been hamming so many MODOKs. It's been so joyous.
That's almost snap worthy.
Get ham. Bonk hamming.
Yeah, I would snap. People snap against me when they ham my MODOKs in my experience, and they are correct to do so.
Most of the Morgans I've played against are doing Corvus things, and I haven't been impressed. Because if you're doing Corvus things, you're usually trying to discard stuff, and Morgan undiscards them. So it's like she's just a little awkward. I'm not sure.
But there's something with like first Ghost Rider there, right? Where you're discarding like an Iron Man with the first Ghost Rider, and like really late at night on a whim, I put together. There's an old deck called Small Hella that I used to like before, like in one of the iterations of before Hella ever was a menace. And I was kind of with like, I just late night like rebuilt like this bizarre like Silver Samurai holodeck. It was fun.
Yeah, and I think
Sounds fun.
this might be what you're getting at, is like a lot of times combo cards, what ends up being their sweet spot is just a small package or like a moderate, we're not going all in on Morgan Le Fay. She's not our key piece. She is just one piece of our strategy. She's one plan. She's worth, if she only revives 2 cards, she's a 4/13.
Yeah.
You have to pay for those cards again somehow.
It's true.
Like,
that's what made hella interesting for me, was not going all in, was the deck challenge of building around like, okay, just cards that I want to bring back that are different costs, but I'm not all in on Hella. I'm not trying to like magic shit or Invis Woman or anything. I also have like Ravona, but then it was, I think I already took it apart, but like, now I miss it. Okay, anyway. So, yeah.
Next time your late night Re is stuck, I guess you could make another mini Hella deck.
I hope to have more Morgan Le Fay thoughts in the future once I've found time to play her.
Yeah, we can touch on these again.
I still like. I have to, like, last week I meant to mention, like, I don't know, compare this card to like Moon Girl. Like, just I don't know, like the quality of the cards that you're getting in your hand is like guaranteed to be good, and I don't know. The stats, I don't know. I have to believe that Morgan Le Fay, there's something to do with her. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll get there.
I think so.
She's the mysterious, that's just kind of a rule, beckoning you in the night, like, surely there are great things for you ahead with me. And you're like, yes, I believe that.
She's kind of weird because, like, previously I expected Killmonger to be best.
Or she's weird.
And the card itself, not the character. I think Bullseye is probably the best plan, not because of my combo deck, just like because he saves you the energy of playing the cards for Killmonger twice. But if you're playing Bullseye, she's probably not the best way to play Bullseye. So, like,
do you think there's like some sort of like mid-rangey discard thing that, like, maybe you Blade and Colleen and First Ghost Rider are the things that are like feeding you the stuff? Maybe we're not actually doing Bullseye stuff, but I mean, maybe we're also doing Bullseye stuff. Maybe it's like all the flavors. I don't know. I feel there's got to be something there. I don't know.
I just like this week's, Snap on this. Hey, Bullseye is good.
Yeah.
But like the route we take there is very like, but yeah.
But fuck that guy. For people who did not update, because there was the patch on Tuesday, for people who did not update, their Series 4 packs contained Hellion and Mercury. Surprise! This, as Ben mentioned, he collected those before updating his game. If you stayed unupdated, if you stayed on the previous version of the game, you can play Hellion and Mercury right now. If you did update after collecting them, you can't put them into a deck and start a game. And I believe you also can't split them right now. Just, they're not active in the current patch, but they said that they would be, Second Dinner said they would be making them available to all players as soon as possible. And I believe said that they'll try to be in time for the Golden Gauntlet.
Ooh.
Now I'm questioning if that was public or not, but the Golden Gauntlet will be here in time. So, Saturday, Sunday, are you participating in Golden Gauntlet too, Ree?
No.
Okay. I'll participate in one of them.
I'd like to do it again, but it's just like, it's too soon for me to devote the entire day.
I would like to do it. It just seems like a cool community thing, even if I'm not especially competitive, but not doing it on my wedding weekend.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ben, you haven't had a chance to play Hellion or Mercury yet. I don't know that
No.
We don't need to cover them extensively.
Except for to say that Hellion, boo, because Cannonball. Why would you not ever play, like, same stats, but it's a surprise card as opposed to being, like, telegraphed like Hellion is?
I think Hellion's good.
Oh, really?
Maybe we should do a quick, like, ranking on them, like, as if we knew they were going to be included this season. Hellion, 5/8, on reveal, next turn you can move cards to this location. It's a lopsided cloak. And you don't have to. You don't have to move anything.
No, you do not. That is the thing. I like this card a lot. I didn't like it at first when I read it. I was like, I don't know. This is awfully expensive for like, we have Cloak at home, But the thing is, the asymmetricality and like just the fact that you don't have to move the cards. Like, are you setting up for a huge Heimdall slide, or are you not setting up for a huge Heimdall slide? Are we maybe just playing Magneto on that lane or something? Like, this is going to make chumps of so many opponents. This card, so many people are going to feel like chumps when they lose to Hellion.
It also gives reach, which I know is something that you like, Ree. Maybe not on a 5-cost card, but
No, because you can only move him to this location, so it has to be a location you can play Hellion.
Yeah, we play him on like Death's Domain or Altar of Death, something like that.
But not Sanctum Supreme.
That's a big body to lose.
Where magic reigns.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I think the best play with him is you put him on a lane and then you don't move anything there, and your opponent just assumes you're going to be taking that lane.
Right?
Like,
that's what you're going to do for 5 power? That's what you're going to do? For the same cost and the same energy, could I sell you on a card that is a complete surprise and will turn your opponent's highest power card into a rock? Also, the lane. Just...
Okay.
I love Cannonball, and Cannonball is great at Cannonball's job. It's just that Hellion does a different thing.
I love Cannonball too, more than this card, but Cannonball's a turn 6 play.
Yeah,
Can be.
Not always.
I'm playing Cannonball on turn 5 a lot in my current Zorn deck, and I will say Hellion is not about to come take Cannonball's spot in that deck. Like, Cannonball is doing what Cannonball is supposed to be doing there.
All right.
It's the Lady Deathstrike problem. When you're like, Lady Deathstrike's fun, I want to play her, but like, how many spots do you have for like a 5-ish cost card that you wouldn't rather play? Like a 4 or another 6 or a different 5? Like, you can't just throw them in the deck. It doesn't matter if they have different jobs. Sometimes the slot is just, just has a studlier looking card.
They have very different jobs, though. I think Hellion's going to find work. That's what I think.
All right, give him a rating, Ree, on a 4-point scale.
2.
Okay, Ben?
I'll give him a 3.
I'd give him a 3 too. A 3 also. Mercury, I'm going to read her off. Yeah, I'm going to read off Mercury, and then I have to deal with my dog, so one of you will take it away. Mercury, 2/2. You can move this once. Ongoing, enemy cards here can't move.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this so much because, like, I always love, like, Spectrum counter decks. Like, just, like, let me just counter people all day and then, like, buff it at the end. And then so many people are playing Move right now. And it's so frustrating to me when I'm playing someone doing Move Bounce with the Torch and stuff and Dagger. And it's like, and if I don't have... the right things, it's just those cards get so giant. And I would just love to play Mercury down and ruin all these movers in days.
So the way I look at it, there's like really one card to compare this to. Like, there's one card you need to think about, and that's Jeff the Baby Land Shark. Mercury is new Jeff, in my opinion. It's a self-moving 2-cost that has an absolutely game-winning sometimes other ability like on it. And like, we love self-moving cards, all of them, every time, without exception. They're all always good.
It's a very strong ability.
So yeah, I think this card is a certified winner. I could see it maybe only being 3, but I think if we're real here, it's a 4-point out of 4-point card. I'm not looking forward to playing against it. Holy shit, this card is gonna make me pull my hair out. I respect it. It's very, very cool.
This card makes me want to play Jeff more because, nothing stops a baby loon shake.
Yeah, Jeff,
I play them together.
Comes out on top.
Toxie Doxie. But yeah, I agree with Ben, actually. This is a 4. It's such an easy thing to throw in. It covers your reach that I always like to have in a deck, as well as being a counter, a huge counter to a deck that you could still play on 5 or 6 and ruin someone's turn if you have prio, right? I love it. What about you, Lauren?
You know what's cheaper than Hellion? Mercury and Cloak. on the same turn.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one that was all high on Hellion. I'm the one that was all like, I'd rather play other cards.
I'm just saying, like, that's
High
a fun
on
little
Hellion.
2-card combo, you know, like
Let me get
locking
high on
one of their
Hellion.
lanes where their desirable movables would be, and you know, like, yeah, I'm just saying, just because Hellion's good at Hellion's job doesn't mean that Cloak isn't still good at Cloak's job.
I think Mercury's a 4. She is one of the cards I've been most excited for, because she's a sort of a lockdown card, and she has the synergy with Cannonball, which is beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 2-card combo right there.
Oh, listen to you guys. All you're doing is being like, more like Cannonball is awesome. Cannonball is awesome. Look at all these cards that I would rather play
Hellion versus Cannonball, a bizarre matchup that, like, no promoter set up. Like, that's not the fight that's on the bill.
Though, Ben, when we think about deck building, we think about it differently because you're always confused by cards that I compare in my head for decks. And it's just, I find that interesting. Anyway, like, because it's like where I slot cards is being similar, it's like totally different.
Yeah, I love that. I love that they're, you know, thinking about decks and cards in different ways. Are we talking about next week's card? Is that a thing we're doing? Just brief thoughts on it?
I saw it in the thing, so I put it in the show notes. We don't have to. Yeah.
Okay.
It's wacky.
I think we talked about it last week.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. We can
not
skip it.
Formed any smarter thoughts about it.
Yeah. Still haven't figured out how to do this talking about cards thing, even though all the other podcasts and YouTubers do it.
And we have been doing it for a long time ourselves.
Putting the show notes
in fact,
together.
I don't think there's ever been a problem with any of the ways we've approached it. I think it's all fine.
The Dow Mandala, if you look at the art for the card she generates, it looks like she's throwing a giant magic yo-yo at you, and that really honestly makes me... That's all this is what I see in a card that makes me want to play a card. So, like, honestly, because of that, we'll probably play some decent ancient.
My proposal is that we
get yo-yoed. Okay,
my proposal is we do talk about next week's card, but just like very briefly, not a rating, just like, are you excited or whatever, right? First, I have 2 thoughts.
Success.
No, yeah.
Okay. Did it.
Well, I guess I should read her off. The Ancient One, 3/5, on reveal, add Dow Mandala to your hand. Dow Mandala is a 3-cost skill with, on reveal, copy the text of one of your ongoing cards here onto your other characters here. I assume it overwrites their text. That's how copying works everywhere else in the game. I have 2 thoughts. One, when I was writing up my Twitter rankings, I noticed that the Ancient One's initials are Dow, and I just, you know, that's cool. Second, I don't know. I'm excited for her just because I think that she opens up some quirky stuff. Like, having 3 of the same ongoing card is not something that you can do very easily.
No.
Miss Marvel. Yeah, I tried to build with Miss Marvel recently, honestly, because in the last gauntlet, someone was playing Miss Marvel and I beat them, but like, I'm like, I want to play with her again. And it was rough. It's a rough world for Miss Marvel out there, to be honest. So maybe this will be the like weird combo trick with her, right?
Maybe. I still can only think of this as a surfer card because it's a 3/5, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, fair enough.
You could put Wong in there, Captain Carter. I want to have 3 Captain Carters on a lane, even if only the first 2 are getting,
That's so overkill.
I know, but you don't have to do anything after that. You got 3 Captain Carters on the lane. Just
the problem is
Surfer as the 4th card, and it's fine.
Okay, I want to enter, because this is a problem I found with Carter, is she is an overkill card. The problem with Carter is, like, a lot of the times my defense against Shang is to be like, they have to also beat me with more than just the Shang, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That saves me a lot of times, is that I've planned that, like, I'm going to win anyway. And Captain Carter makes it so that you lose that lane for sure if they Shang it, because all those cards are too big, and they're usually so much bigger than you actually needed to be the winner of the lane.
I've found that, like, I get a lot more mileage out of Peggy when I'm not too greedy about it. Very often I will try to like keep everything in the lane under the Shang range, which means that Captain Carter herself can't get all that big, because, like, you know, sometimes those back row lads, they're a little too burly for their own good. You know, you don't want your Gwenpool in the back row to be like a 412 or something, because that's I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes they don't have Shang. You're just gonna, run roughshod over their whole situation. But I don't know. I find that like when I'm playing Peggy, I'm winning that game more often than not. Is the thing.
She's very good. That's true.
At least in Surfer, she is nasty.
Mm-hmm. Also, I find that she's a very cool turn 3 play. I know that like it doesn't seem like, oh no, she's going to be on the board for so long to be Red Guardian or whatever, or Enchantress, or who cares? Just get it on the board. You've got other things to do with later turns. Just play that Peggy right away. That's my advice.
Oh, that's
unrelated
a fair point.
To the ancient one. That's just a Peggy tip from a person who's been playing a lot of Surfer these days.
You've been playing her, but that is like a point. There's so many cards, like I said, that it's like hard to play in curve that you want to hold in hand, and it's really amazing that you're like, yeah, just put her out. Okay.
It's always a good thing on a card if you can play it on curve, but don't have to play it on curve, right? Like,
and the cool thing about the ancient one is that you don't have to know what you're going to do with your Dao Mandala just right away. You play.
A 3/5.
This is still not my kind of card. I don't think I should get this card. I'm still like going back and forth. Is like, am I going to acquire this, or is this going to be that big first skip on the Series 5? Do I start saying no to new cards? I don't know. We'll see.
So the patch we had this week, just a few things to know about it. One is they announced, I don't know if this is related to the patch, but it's something that they announced, is that the Samsung Store version of Snap is going to be removed. So if you're playing through the Samsung Store, you have to switch to Google Play. But it's not like you're going to lose your account or anything like that. And then they said, if you have a guest account, please link it. That's one that's not attached to an Apple or Google account. Please link it to one before June 9th. Apparently, June 10th is when they are switching to... I don't know. This is part of them switching over to all the self-publishing. They can get over themselves. And part of that is... accounts may have issues logging in after that. So if you're listening to this and you haven't linked your account, do it now. So you don't have to deal with support later. The change that makes it so that when you get a variant, you also automatically get the base card, that is live and applied retroactively. And then... they removed the banish this text from skill cards, but they all still do that. It's just part of being a skill is they banish themselves. It's something you can see if you open up the tooltip.
Yeah. I think it makes it a little less confusing on Deep Space, I guess.
Yeah.
There's that, and also like Iron Lad copying a skill, he doesn't banish himself.
Oh.
Because it's not part of the text, it's part of the card type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Copycat can steal an Agamotto spell.
Yeah. It could Winds of Watum, and it wouldn't disappear.
And then it stays on the board, yeah. And I think if you zero a skill, I think it would still disappear, which I guess goes to the deep.
I think so, yeah, that stands to reason.
Okay. We're going to talk about datamines. Mostly we're going to talk about new cards, but first up, it was noticed in the bundles that were datamined that next season, the Fantastic Four First Steps, it looks like Fantasticar, Series 4 card, is going to be tied to the Super Premium Season Pass, which is a separate $10 on top of the regular Season Pass. So far, that's been, I think it started in January, and so far it's just been variants and borders that you get with that extra $10. And like an extra 10 levels on the Season Pass track, I think. It's not worth it. It's one of the worst purchases in the game.
It hasn't been worth it.
Yeah, and you know, if it's cosmetics only, I'm okay with them monetizing that, but maybe it hasn't been monetizing very well because they're putting cards in there. And Fantasticar is not I don't remember it being an especially strong card.
It's not. It's 100% irrelevant. Yeah. But it won't always be Fantasticar in there.
They missed out by being greedy. I think if it was only $5 and it was like 3 variants, they would have gotten both me and Lauren. Like, definitely, yeah. I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, and instead they're like, it's $10. It's like 1 variant and like, who cares about whatever else is in there? I don't know.
The Super Premium Pass used to be $5.
It did.
But then it wasn't worth it. There were no variants.
It was terrible. It was just
it's never
the 10
been worth it
levels.
at all.
Yeah.
It's always been one of the worst purchases in the game, but they've established Series 4 cards are worth half as much as a Series 5 card. I think it's good for them to make the second season pass card a Series 4, but I think it should be $5.
Yeah, and I don't like the precedent at all. And at some point there's going the bonus card is going to be better than the season pass card, and you're going to feel like you didn't get the must play card of the month when you got the season pass, and you didn't pay for the $20 version, and that makes the game really uninviting to new players. I started playing Marvel Snap at global launch and I loved it, and within 72 hours I was like, hell yeah, I can't wait to give you $10. Give me this Miles Morales guy. I mean, I was familiar with the character. I don't want to make it sound like this was the first I'd heard of my good friend Miles Morales, but yeah, I'm just saying, I would have had a very different reaction if they were actually, to really play Marvel Snap properly, you got to give us $20 every month. I would have said no thanks, and I would not be here on this podcast right now. Because I fell in love with Marvel Snap because it was affordable and I could have all of the cards for $10 a month. And that's always been a huge part of the appeal for me. And once you start saying you can't have all the cards unless you give us $20 a month, I start saying it's time for me to hit the road. This is a bad change. I think it doesn't bode well for the future. It's take the money and run move. That's what I think. I think it's a way to extract more value from the customers that you've managed to hold on to, the people who will put up with, whatever you want to do in the service of stacking paper to the ceiling. But this is not a growth move. This is not we want our game to live forever kind of move. This is we want to make as much money as we can in the next 2 years and leave the whole thing a smoldering wreck behind us move. That's what I think.
I think it's a really good take. I'm kind of the same. I'm in the same place where I was spending $10 on the game. It was Silver Surfer, but I was spending $10 on the game very quickly because it won me over. And then when I saw it's only, $10 for everything that the season pass comes with, including a card.
This can be my home forever. I will live here.
I'm in. Right. And I have been in the entire time. 2.5 years, something like that. But yeah, it's way uninviting and unintimidating for a player who's more casual or more new.
I always compare it to an MMO subscription is how I think of it. And $20 is more by considerable amount than my FF14 subscription, which I think is $12 a month because I buy a year at a time because that's how into that game I am. Discount. And yeah, so and it's Snap. Do you know how much of a big FF14, a card game is a mini game in this game. And no, it's not obviously not as detailed as Snap, but it's one of a million other games and systems. If there's one game that was going to take up all my time, an MMO could do it. And for less than so yeah, it's too much for the subscription to enjoy the game in a more complete way, which is, I'm willing to subscribe to a game, but I'm not, it's the difference, right, between pay-to-win games and games that just monetize cosmetics and stuff like that.
Also, Final Fantasy, that game works, right? Marvel Snap doesn't work $20 a month good. Sorry, Second Dinner. Maybe, have a game that works before you start charging $20 a month for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought. Yikes.
Yeah. I think this is a place where I will be voting with my wallet. And the fact that it's a Series 4 card means that I can get it for 2,000 tokens next season.
Yeah, that's what I do.
As long as they stick with that precedent.
Right, but also, you said, once it's a Series 5 card, or what if it's a card that is very important? Are they going to get me to impulse spend $10? Maybe that'll just make me feel bad if I feel like I have to spend that extra 10 on top of what I'm already spending.
The first time it's a card I want, then I'll be mad.
Yeah, well, there's going to be another one that we look at, and we'll see if that sounds like one that you want. So, Galactus, First Steps. This is, I believe, August? Yes, August, because July is Fantastic Four First Steps. August is Heralds of Galactus season. Seems like Galactus First Steps is the season pass. He's a 6/10. And the text is, my Herald is the next card I see you play. End of turn, +3 power if you're winning my Herald's location. Interesting that it's written in first person. I did see like a screenshot of somebody who I don't know if they're hacking or whatever. It's data mining tools. They had this like in game and they showed the tooltip, and it basically just says like, for him to see you play it, he either has to be on the board or in your hand.
Okay, so as soon as you draw him, the next card you play is your Herald.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he somehow gets summoned directly to your board, like Jubilee.
And I assume this is lopsided information that your opponent doesn't have.
I think the +3 power growing, I think that would be seen.
Yeah,
like
once it starts red hulking out, your opponent will know what's going on, I think.
But
I
Evil
assume
Hulk
there will be like
doesn't.
some sort of VFX indicator of the card that is causing the +3 power to happen. Like something's going to glow or whatever.
That wouldn't surprise me either if you see a face of Galactus when you play the Herald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll have cool AI, but I'm still like more into his daughter, to be honest with you. Like for abilities.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically just a very expensive, very high-powered 6, right? Like, he joins the likes of a Red Hulk and a Gore, where it's just a really big card you can play. Or Blob.
Oh, I love
Arishem.
hamming a Gore. Oh, sorry, when you play Ham again and you just get the joy of like taking out people's Gores and stuff.
Yeah, I just
what
don't
a
like this
brigade
card
of
because
him.
it's so good if you get it early, and then it's Garbo if you draw it late. And if your opponent draws it early, I think is like that's the situation I'm going to be in because I'm not playing this. Why would I play this card?
Right.
But like, man, I'm going to be frustrated when my opponent has it like from the beginning of the game.
You could have it turn 1.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and we have other cards that, like, you're playing a little competitive minigame, right? Like Nebula or
your
Adam
your
Warlock.
Iron Patriots and that sort of thing.
Patriot. But they're not. It's not
too
like
much
this
commander.
where you're just building up a 6/20 or more to drop on the last turn. Yeah. I know people will like this card. It's a very in some ways it might just be a good cards card because like
Yeah.
just a
I
tempo
suspect it
card
is.
and it doesn't have any specific synergy except play tempo and win lanes. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know how interested I am in a 6. I do know, not very interested.
They're always
Yeah.
looking for that deck that rewards prio without being OP, or being like obnoxious, without being leader arrow, kind
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah, or Eliath that destroys cards.
Yeah.
I think Prio's already so strong. Like Juggernaut and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are both very strong Prio cards.
Also, are there situations where maybe you want to like lose prio and just win the Herald lane every turn, and then you can't get shonged when you drop your gigantic Galactus on 6?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is another thing you're forgetting about Magic, though, is you can drop a spell on Negasonic and it counts.
I
There's
hate
so many.
that.
I know, that's why I love playing Agamotto. There's so many times where it's just like,
You trigger Vormir or Castle
Dang,
Zemo.
poor Negasonic.
yeah.
That really stinks for her with all these spells now.
I know, it feels great for me, though. It's like, she's so low power. This is insane. And it just
Like-
triggers my werewolf to jump to that location.
Yeah, great target for Cersei or Merlin spells, though. As somebody who Cersei's a lot of Negasonics. Okay, here's our other super premium season pass card. Silver Surfer First Steps. I don't know that we've seen the bundle that it comes in, but like it's shipping as a limited time event card, and then the month after it's Series 4, which is exactly what Fantastic Car is doing. So people are assuming this is probably the same situation. A 3/4, end of turn. If you're winning this location with an on-reveal card, copy its text.
Like, does
It's
that mean
weird text.
use its on reveal? Like, this is poorly written.
No, it's just a Surfer. They're like just made Surfer another Surfer card. It's just another card you'd want to play after Surfer. Surfer
or before Surfer.
Yeah, you could play it before
end
Surfer.
of turn thing. I assume Silver Surfer First Steps is a 3-cost card. We're guessing.
Oh, it's end of turn. You're right. It's not an on reveal.
Which is why it's so poorly written.
The line of
text is unintelligible.
It only works if that location has an on-reveal card. That's how I'm reading this. So,
but like copy its text, like does that mean trigger its on reveal? Like because this Silver Surfer First Steps is already face up. It's not revealing. It's not.
It would be a full text copy. Like its text would change to copy the other card's text, like Iron Lad or Prodigy.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't read it well enough, but yeah, it's still Surfer card. You still play Surfer and then this card.
It's a 3, but also if you can space things out right, like Sebastian Shaw doesn't trigger this. It's not an on-reveal card, so you have Sebastian Shaw and Silver Surfer First Step sitting there, and then on the last turn, if you play Silver Surfer and you're winning that lane, Silver Surfer First Steps triggers and copies the Silver Surfer text is a second Silver Surfer that you paid for multiple turns ago.
Mm-hmm.
Seems strong.
It does. I mean, I don't know. Like, there are already a lot of ways to get multiple Surfer triggers going, but you know, more doesn't hurt. Yeah, I mean,
or even like copying a White Tiger with this. Like, I don't hate that at all. I guess White Tiger lane is kind of a hard lane to win, but you know,
with your 1 power there, and you're like maybe you're 4/2 Wong.
Yeah, trying to think of what
Sage on that.
Shuri.
Oh, the Sage.
You play this into Shuri, and then the next card you play is double. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know, there's stuff you can put here.
I don't want to pay an extra $10 for this card. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I'm getting too excited about it. I need to pretend I hate it.
Yep, I'm predisposed to despise this one.
Okay, well, we'll move on. Stardust, a Series 5 4/7. Ongoing, cards can't be added to locations except by playing or moving them.
How fun.
I'm trying to think of what this
I wish we knew anything else about this card.
Sentry!
A single supporting detail would be helpful. A cost, a power, like anything.
It's 4/7.
4/7. Oh, is it? It's below the stats.
Sorry, I don't have pictures of it, but yeah.
It's a 4/7.
4/7. Okay. You're right.
In that case,
Void is a good one.
Yeah,
I like
do
it because it's
card.
offensive and defensive. You know what I mean? Yeah. You build your deck to benefit from it, and now they can't like bust out their brood and whatever. You know?
Yeah,
Rhino.
It's a Mobius type kind of thing.
Rhino won't make his rock.
Oh.
It's so funny when like you get like a free abomination from the X-Men school. Why am I blanking?
I think it's X-Men Academy.
And then they get a rhino. Enjoy your rock.
That is a really fun location.
Okay.
Like, I hate it when, you know, of course you hate it when you draw a MODOK from X-Men Academy, but also like it's just one of the ways that this game is fun and silly, you know, kind of a party game sometimes. Anyway.
That's why you need Conquest to be the like, hey, if you're really matching skills, it needs to be over a series of games to. I mean, because building around the luck of the locations is part of deck strategy.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely. I don't want a game that's purely skill based. If I did, I wouldn't be playing Snap. I'd be playing chess or something. I think this card's too expensive. 4/7.
Stardust. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That is my main concern about it. I think it might still be good enough though, because 4/7 it's a powerful stat line.
Just trying to figure out, what are you stopping? Like, Void is a good thing to stop, I guess. It's symmetrical, right? So like, I don't know if you're planning on doing like Legion Monster Island or something like that. Like, it's stopping you too.
I mean, it stops Hella.
Oh,
right. It stops a lot of opponents' things.
I'm trying to think of opponent things it stops.
Yeah, stops Doom 2099. Stops regular Doom. Stops a lot of things. Add cards to locations.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl, Jubilee, White
Yeah.
Tiger. All the cards
See,
that
and it's
people
one of those things that will
Nissan.
be a surprise. Like, unless it's like it turns out to be an arrow and like everyone's playing it, it's like
Red
people
Wing.
run into it and forget.
Yeah.
Oh, Red Wing. Not the burb.
Just-
Proxima
Kinda-
Midnight.
It kind of reminds me of...
Oh, yay! Fuck Bullseye. Sorry, I do love Proxima Midnight, but Bullseye's made me hate everything.
There are a lot of things that put cards on the board.
It strikes me, though, as a Cobra-like card. Definitely better than Cobra as far as like
Definitely
the ability
better than
being
Cobra.
useful. But it strikes me as that where it's like it's hard to use proactively, and
I'd like it better if it were 3.
yeah, and like, are you dedicating a deck slot to teching against a type of deck you might run into? Like,
It might be a lot of types
who
of
plays
deck, though.
Super Giant.
I play Supergiant proactively, though. That's the thing. I don't play her just to fuck with people.
Well,
I
I'm
use
sure
her so
you're
that
also
I can.
playing Stardust. So you're playing Stardust proactively too, right?
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how many ways can you do that? Void is a great example, but I'm struggling to think of like, how else do you use
I
this
don't know.
Yeah.
to help
I
yourself?
don't quite know.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of, I mean, I've only just been thinking about it for the past like 45 seconds.
Oh
or
man,
something.
great like defense against like debris and stuff. Oh, I've been running into so much debris.
Yeah. Except that she doesn't come down until 4. So
But that's
True.
yeah, and it
But
is
a
a
late debris
defensive
is
use.
still a very
I'm still looking
obnoxious
for
debris.
proactives. What
she's
else?
she's
do
not.
you
I don't think she's good enough.
You know, you might be right. I'm
name's
like,
Stardust,
if
though.
the only proactive
their
use
name,
is the Sentry, then I just don't see it. There have to be other proactive uses, right?
I would think
Like,
so.
good ones. I don't know. We'll keep thinking about it. We don't have to rate this card yet. We're just becoming aware of it.
Frankie Ray, who I believe is Nova, and that's why she's Frankie Ray, is because that name is taken by 2 cards already. Frankie Ray.
Ray's a great name.
It is a great name. That's true. 3/4. After the next time you play a 6-cost card, double this card's power. So 3/8 if you don't do anything to buffer, which is not bad. We like 3/8 is it's the best 3, right? Besides Star Brand.
Yeah, it's fine. I just don't. Well, I don't know.
I mean, so like a
Do
scar
hand buff
type.
decks play
Oh, no, it's a
6-cost
6,
cards?
he's
Is that a
7.
thing?
Not usually.
Maybe it'll bring back ramp. We haven't seen like an old school ramp in a while.
But like the idea is to raise her power above 4 before doubling it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, reasonable. Okay, I see the strategy. If you have a 6-cost that buffs everything.
Maybe. Yeah.
You
I
could
guess I
buffer in
hadn't
other
seen
ways
that.
first, but yeah, I'm with you that like it's not. I'm trying to think of negative
Maybe
plays
Odin.
Ironheart.
I think Odin is probably the best 6-cost card to make something happen with Frankie Ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On an Ironheart, I like that. Okay.
I like buffing stuff.
Honestly, I mean, if you're in one of those situations where you're, there are a lot of times you end up playing Surfer on 5 for reasons. I don't know, but you probably don't want to put a 6-cost in a Surfer deck of any
No,
kind.
6 in the Surfer is wrong.
It's just wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I said negative, but she doesn't belong in negative, even if she has the supporting cast
No.
there. Yeah. I think she's playable. Like, doubling is always a strong thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean, like, unlike the boring Human Torch, like this one doesn't die to Killmonger.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, too.
Black Panther meme deck of Black Panther, Absman, her, just like double up a bunch of cards.
Just a pure double deck. There's Moon Girl in there, and Shuri. Okay. The deck name is Double Toil and Trouble. The Fallen One. A Series 5 card. 5/5. On reveal, set your max energy equal to this card's power.
So there are a couple
ability.
things to do with this. You either try to get it out early to get your max energy set to 5 before it should be, or you play it on 5, I guess, after you've buffed its power to like 7 or more or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Or even, because that would get you to 7 max energy on turn 6. But yeah, like I guess you're hand buffing it or you're cheating it out fast.
Your max energy would keep growing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not locking it.
So like if you raised its power to 6, played it on turn 5, you'd have 7 energy on turn 6.
Okoye. I just processed that you said Okoye, right? Yes, that is one thing that you could do with the
Every
final
little
one, for
bit
sure.
counts, I suppose.
Put it in your Nakia Okoye deck, America Chavez. Maybe just all that extra energy could justify.
Actually, this would really be great for that, because the problem I have with some of the hand buff decks I get into, like I was running for a while, I abandoned my own. Usually I just have fun with my own. Ika had built this hand buff deck that I just really enjoyed the hell out of it, Scarlet Spider and everything. And the problem is I'd have these super buffed cards in my hand and not enough energy to play all of them. And like, you didn't always need to win, but like, it really makes you sad when you're like, how could I not have 2 energy for like a 2/8 Sinister? How is that not the best thing to be playing? I really would like to also be playing this. And so I could see if I have played you know what I mean? If I've got one of those decks where it's like everything gets buffed, then I would, play her on 5, like play a 5/8 or whatever she is then, and then get to play more of my cards in the last turn when they're max buffed. But then again, 5 is the time that sometimes you're one pulling or you're Nicking, so sacrifices.
Is Shuri Fallen One good enough? Spending 9 energy to get 11 on the last turn?
Because Shuri happens before, yes.
I mean, to get 11 energy on the last turn, I would like it better if it were 12. Yeah. I don't know. That seems there might be a deck where that would happen sometimes, and maybe there's a plan for that. It's like so far outside of the kind of decks that I like to build, because I am, as often mentioned, team small cards, and what you are describing is like the antithesis of everything I love and believe in.
There is going to be some beautiful clips I can do with Wong Shuri Fallen One. 20 power to play with on the last turn.
I think Shuri is the right call, though, because you could do stuff like that and like put Black Panther in that deck. You know what I mean? That's a card that is good to play last turn when they can't Shang it, and stuff.
Yeah, if you can afford to play Black Panther and Arnim Zola on the same turn, that's pretty bananas, right?
Hey, that's your 11.
And like those cards, like they're kind of in agreement with Shuri, even if fucking what's his name?
That's what I'm saying. You're not all in once you can build the synergies in a deck. That does
kind of feel like there is something that might be there.
That's what I do. I've been wanting to play Black Panther.
I think it might be there, and I have a small cards brain, so like I don't know. That might mean it doesn't work.
One thing that concerns me about this card is it seems really hard to adjust. Right?
Yes, it does. Where are the knobs? Show me those knobs.
Every cost or power change is like huge on this thing. Anyway, it does seem like a fun card. It's I don't know how it's big for my taste. Of course, this whole season is pretty big, but that at least seems like a fun puzzle. Like he asks an interesting question of you. Cosmic Ghost Rider. This guy's got cool art.
Hell yeah.
Is it Punisher? It looks like he has a skull on his chest. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
I believe so.
Frank Castle. 5/7. On reveal, remove the text from front row enemy cards here.
Captain Carter's nemesis.
Definitely.
It's an after the fact Goliath.
Yeah, which doesn't do anything against on reveals, but
no.
But he could definitely raise some help. Like, how much do we play Red Guardian? Like, would you play a 5/7 Red Guardian that could hit 2 things?
Yeah.
But I feel
think he would.
Red Guardian is the 3 cost. When I am like having a deck that is like synergizing around something else, and I'm like, I'm slotting 1 card in for tech because sometimes that'll just, or that's just what you need. And it's usually a 3 coster. It's Jug, it's Rogue, it's Red Guardian. 5 is expensive.
So I'm thinking about the front row cards you would want to wipe. And the cards that I'm thinking of are things like Hope Summers, Captain Carter. I'm just thinking of some of my favorite Surfer cards. But Wong. Wong is a great front row card that you're going to want to wipe. Who else do you want to wipe out of the front row? I mean, like, obviously all kinds of ongoings and things.
Surtur.
But like Surtur, that's a good call. Who else?
I think he's cool with Daredevil.
Yeah. Get out of here with that. Although, how do you get him out on turn 4? You need to get him out on turn 4 to wipe Daredevil, right? Oh, you mean in conjunction with your own Daredevil?
You play him with Daredevil, and then
synergy with Daredevil.
Yeah. What other cards are there to wipe that you really want to wipe? Surge. You want to wipe Surge.
Victoria Hand.
Anti-Surge card.
All the ongoings are easier to just hit with a Rogue or an Enchantress.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm specifically looking for non-ongoing ones, because otherwise Enchantress is your...
But those are the powerful... The ongoing are the powerful low-cost cards, because they're the build cards. Even stuff like Angela, or as you were saying, Surtur, they're still going to retain the power they've gotten thus far, which is still a big boost for them.
Better to hit them with Shadow King. But... One of the reasons we like Red Guardian is because he's so flexible.
Exactly.
He's not specific to ongoing or on reveal or whatever.
Neither is Lady Deathstrike, who is also a 5/7. Oh, I'm so bummed out. I realized I was hyped for Electro's buff. It killed my Tallgeese deck because an important line was going from Electro to Lady Deathstrike, and now she doesn't kill him. And Lady Deathstrike, part of that was like the surprise factor with it, and like the whole deck has to be reset. Like not the whole deck, but like I have to figure stuff out. So,
who I don't want getting hit by Cosmic Ghost Rider? Craven and Scream.
Yeah.
Don't want them getting hit by Cosmic Ghost Rider. Don't want Vulture getting hit by Cosmic Ghost Rider.
But they're still playing this on 5, and your Craven's still going to be huge on turn 5.
I know, but a lot of things happen on turn 5 and 6. Like, turning off Scream for 2 turns is a huge deal. And
but they're still spending 5 energy. They're spending their whole time 5 turns to just... do that, and your Vulture's still going to get giant from moving around.
If our alternative is like Shadow King, then that's a Shadow King that you have to save until turn 6 to like do the things. And I don't know. I think that Cosmic Ghost Rider came to play. That's what I think.
It's a strong ability. Just the question if the stats are worth it.
Like if it's bad, it's the 5-ness that like will doom it. But I think even the 5-ness is not enough to doom it.
But see, I'm less worried because on a turn 5 it'll hit my Merlin, fine. I've gotten most of my use out of Merlin. It hit my Kate Bishop, fine. You know what I mean? It hits my shield, fine. Like, I don't know.
Ooh, another card that hits
Sam
Doom
Wilson.
2099. Look at all these cards out to get Doom 2099. I love it.
Doom 2099 losing 2 procs. That's
get
big.
out of here.
But how much are you teching against one specific deck? You know
You're
what I mean?
not.
A 5-cost card.
Cosmic Ghost Rider has a multitude of targets.
I know. I think you're right, and I think it's strong. I'm the one. I love playing Lady Deathstrike, so I get it. I'm just trying to bring down the I don't know.
The power is still there, and the power is what matters.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm intrigued. I think we asked before about like how do you make a big tech card, and it's a hard thing to do to make a big tech card. Airwalker. We're on to our series 4s. I don't know which of these are going to be like first week releases versus event cards. So whatever. Airwalker, a 3/4. When this is destroyed, replace it with a 4-cost card from your hand or deck. That seems good, but I don't know. I don't understand the vision. Like, playing for free is
it's
nice.
Supposed to pair with Firelord, right?
Oh, I haven't looked at him yet.
They're like supposed to be adorable together.
Okay, let's read him real quick. Firelord, a 4/6. On reveal, revive one of your discarded or destroyed 3-cost cards here. So he brings in Firelord, who immediately brings Airwalker back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then you destroy him again?
Yeah, well, that's where I think this would just slot into a destroy deck. Like, I would put it in somewhere where it's like it'll pull a 2. You know what I mean? It's going to be...
Yeah, like this gets value.
Yeah, you're just going to be... I think it's...
Nope, get that out of your mouth.
Harder to find a combo... like piece with that outside destroy, like the way Fire Hair, you kind of have this wonky Fire Hair deck. I feel like for me this feels more like you're more in on destroy like with it.
Just the fact that he can pull from your deck, that's like, deck thinning is always very, very strong, especially in Marvel Snap.
Yeah. That from the deck part really, like, that makes this card, like, you can't ignore it. This is definitely going to be a real card.
Like, do you like Zabu?
Oh, with Kid Omega, you know what I mean? That's where it'll combo into outside of destroy stuff.
That's great.
Because okay, yeah, I think that'll do it. Because the thing is, when you're not, like, when you're outside of destroying 1 cost and you're outside of Hood and stuff, because there you can slot in Killmonger and maybe a Carnage as backup or Nico and some other things. But a 3 cost, you have to have more dedicated cards to destroy. Then you need like a Venom. You need other stuff that's going on. Ooh, maybe this is what goes in my Tallgeese stack. Because when this gets destroyed by a destroyer... That's late game, though. Would I still have a 4 cost in my... You
could just keep one in your hand, and you would know exactly what it would be.
Oh, maybe this will revive Destroyer for me. I like it.
That's another thing worth noting is if you only have 1 4 in your entire deck, you know what card is coming out when you take care of this guy.
It also means... I mean, well, I guess it does do it from the hand. I wish there were 2 so that you could... I don't know. I would feel better if there were 2, because, like, maybe you'll discard the 1. I don't know. Multiple targets is good, but, like, the consistency of a single 4 in that deck would also... I don't know.
Well, like, picture this, right? You play that on 3, on, like, 5, you play a Nimrod. Maybe you play a Shuri before the Nimrod. I don't know what you're playing on 4. You got options. And then 6, you Destroyer... and you kill Airwalker, pulls out your Atuma, which kills another Nimrod.
That is
not a Shuri Nimrod, though. But yes, I like
oh, you're right. I don't play Shuri. She was like the first cut from Tallgeese, to be honest. So
okay. Yeah, they seem like fun cards. Firelord on his own, revive one of your discarded or destroyed 3-cost cards here. Do you play a 4/6 that does that?
I think so. In Destroy?
Yeah, with Misery and stuff. Like, bring back your Cassandra Nova or your Sage or whatever.
I love to blow up a big Venom that I might get it back, you know?
Oh, okay, so Venom with Kid Omega.
Yep,
you know, we were thinking about Elixir, but Elixir with Venom and Kid Omega is awkward because Venom destroys a bunch of cards also, so you're rolling the dice if you get to revive the Venom.
Well, Firelord is just one more voice in the choir telling you not to play Elixir. Oh my gosh.
This, you could target it. This is better than Elixir in that way.
Yeah.
There's got to be good discard uses,
Elixir.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Play a discarded 3-cost
for sure.
The problem, once again, is just when you're in a genre deck like that, the more cards you have that aren't, like, doing the thing, discarding, destroying, you have limited slots. So it's just like, do you put this in over a Proxima, over, you know what I mean? Because you have a certain number of slots that have to go to discarding things, you know? And it's like, does this ability warrant one of, you know, like, then does it go in over Mobius? You know, your other cards that benefit from discarding. Anyway, just saying. Someone who's played a lot of discard until Bullseye.
I appreciate that. Redshift, a 2/3. On reveal, discard the leftmost card in your hand to add a random card with the same cost to your hand.
Yeah.
It's uppercase cost currently, but it's worded like it's lowercase cost.
I don't care about that. They had me at discard the leftmost card in your hand.
Why?
It's targeted. I mean, it's not as good as discarding the rightmost card in your hand. That would be better. But that's already played, and we can play both.
Oh,
yeah, I love this guy.
Oh, it's still just a discard. I was thinking it like transformed the discarded card, but it's still a discard.
This says discard the leftmost card in your hand. Everything else after that is just gravy.
Okay. Yep. I see it.
Helicarrier shenanigans.
Any deck that wants to discard stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Great I like card. It.
Okay.
And it's only a 2/3.
This is my kind of series 4. Yeah.
Okay, one more. Yeah, that seems fun to play with. Terrax the Tamer. We talked about this guy before because of the title.
Tamed at X point. Even though it's really more of a halberd or something, you know?
Yeah. But it's right there in his name, Terrax.
I suppose.
3/3 on reveal for each location. Weirdest wording. For each location, shuffle a rock into the losing player's deck. This is like rock slide power creep.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, losing player deck is, that is a limitation.
I think this is some very cool card design. Also, as weird as the words are, I do think they are the correct words to convey the function.
I think for each location is the weird part.
That is the weird part.
I just got it. It could be different per player. You could be winning, losing, winning. So
exactly.
It like 2 to 1 player, 1 to the other. Okay.
Exactly.
Yep, I misread it the first time. I was like, okay, so Galactus is the only thing that affects this?
No, it feels like very limited. It feels like you'd play Rock Slide and then Darkhawk and then Mystique and Terrax. You know what I mean? So then you'd already hopefully be winning from your Darkhawk and Mystique, or,
Oh, so you want to play Terrax at the very end?
That's just a finishing play. Yeah.
I kind of like shuffling the rocks in before the end.
Yeah, if you're already winning.
I agree, but it's like if you have this in your hand, if you're playing Darkhawk and you have you know what I mean? You're playing Korg earlier. What's great about this is it's a 3 cost that fits slots in well if you do want to play Mystique. Like, what else are you playing with Mystique on turn 6? That's what I like about it.
I guess if you have Prio, that could be important. That could be the deciding factor in winning those 3 extra rocks.
Yeah, I kind of like I'm just thinking you want to play this in a deck that has like enough 1s and 2s that you can reliably have priority on turn 3 and then shuffle 3 rocks in on turn 3. Because I think this card is better when you play it on turn 3 than on turn 6, because shuffling the rocks in is best when your opponent has the opportunity to draw them in lieu of real cards.
Always agree with that. Always agree with it. But at the same time, when I'm looking at this deck, if I have a Cassandra Nova, that's what I'm playing on 3 over Terrax.
I'm not sure.
And I probably have a Cassandra Nova in this deck. It's probably, we're just different decks is what we're playing.
If you play Terrax first, then Cassandra gets a bigger hit because there's 3 rocks in the deck.
Yeah.
True. Like and then maybe you save Cassandra is a 3 cost that goes with Mystique.
This deck needs... If you're playing Terrax, though, you need a way to be winning
lots of 1s and 2s.
3 lanes early. Yeah. Which is definitely a deck building restriction. So I think it's an interesting spin on Rock Slide, where it's like, yeah, probably you generally want Rock Slide for the reliability, but you have this option that's a little better.
The 3 costness of Terrax.
Okay, sorry. Now I'm like, this is an interesting Cassandra Nova dilemma. So I see what you're saying, where she can get a couple more points power later, but part of my consideration, the fact that I almost just, if I have Cassandra Nova and I've drawn her and I can play her in 3, I just about always play her because I want those negative powers on as many of their draws as possible, unless I think they're carrying Luke Cage. And that's a big factor in my thinking beyond just how big can I make Cassandra Nova. It's that I want to hit as many of their cards that it might hurt.
Yeah, but do you know what's even worse than drawing a card with -1 power?
Drawing a rock. I see what you're saying. Fair enough.
All right. I guess if you have prio, it's not too hard to be winning 3 locations on
turn 3. Yeah,
turn 3. You have to be doing stuff like Squirrel Girl,
Yellow.
Maybe this is Wiccan Darkhawk.
Maybe, yeah, yep. Because you want to be sticking to that curve so that you can be ahead everywhere on 3.
Yep. Okay, that's the patch. OTA, which is coming, well, tomorrow from your host's perspective, Thursday this week. It was publicly previewed early for the sake of the Golden Gauntlet tournament. I think that was cool, and they mentioned it.
And that's how I know that they're planning to do more, is because they said when they dropped this early that they're going to space things out so that the scheduling never happens like this again, which means they're doing more Golden Gauntlets at some point.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, I think it must have gone well for them to already have a second one going already. But I think in the section where they buffed, I'm going to skip to the bottom 3 just because they're easier. They're simpler buffs.
Yeah, they are.
Giganto, Omega Red, and Supergiant all got power buffs. And they mentioned that it was like, these are 3 cards that weren't played in the Golden Gauntlet. And while we can't guarantee every single card in the game is going to be viable, like, we can do our best to make it, so that anybody who wants to play a card can.
I noticed that they didn't buff Red Wing, another card that was not played last time.
Giganto goes from 614 to 616. I think that's big enough to be worth talking about.
Absolutely.
Omega Red 4-5 to 4-6, Supergiant 4-5 to 4-7. I just realized I love this change. I was like, I mostly Cersei my Supergiants, but this is big enough that I don't need to. This is big enough I can leave her on my other lane. So this might actually be a buff for my... Actually, I guess it's always a buff. Like, even if I am Cerseiing her, being 4-7 instead of 4-5 doesn't... Anyway.
You're going to win more games with Supergiant. That's the bottom line.
Yep, love to see that, I guess. She is one of my favorite cards in the game that I only play in one deck.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Omega Red. I have a soft spot for Omega Red.
This is a good card. It's a good ability. Mm-hmm. See people steal games with that. You don't see it coming.
It's true, but it's still hard. Sorry, go ahead.
Back before all my Snap.fan data disappeared or whatever, this was probably a year ago now or something, but Omega Red was one of my highest performing cards that perhaps because I didn't play a ton of it, but whenever I was playing Omega Red, those decks were doing pretty well and Omega Red was helping. I think
what
Omega Red
kind of Omega Red decks were you playing? What were you playing with it?
Miss Marvel and stuff.
Okay, Miss Marvel, I can see that because I've been trying. I'm always occasionally just throwing together a spectrum, a spectrum with counters and a few power cards deck. And every time I try Omega Red, it just ends up, because once I see Omega Red, which I'm not playing on the last turn because I'm playing Spectrum or whatever, then it just gets too hard to win that lane, and he's only 5 power himself, and you don't want to overcommit with the Iron Man, still got to win a second lane, and I don't know, it's just been a struggle for me. So, but that's what, maybe Spectrum is not the list for him, so that's what I was curious.
Maybe. I think I also used to play him in an Affliction deck when there were fewer Affliction cards. Trying to remember decks in which I have played Omega Red.
Do I think you remember
I think I had
offhand
him in the deck that had Evolved Abomination and High Evo and no other High Evo cards.
Do either of you remember off the top of your head if Miss Marvel is 4-4 or 4-5 right now?
4-4 right now.
So she's a 4-15. If you
4-14, I think she is.
4-14 is what I meant to say. I just asked. Yes, 4-14.
I mean, let's
and
double
Omega
check
Red
just to be sure.
Omega Red is up to 4-12.
No, Miss Marvel's a 4-5 right now. See, she's
that's what I thought. Okay, I didn't want to call it out, but I'm I tried to play her recently, and I thought she was a 4-5.
I don't know.
So there's still
I randomly play a lot of weird card decks at random times.
Yeah. Ms. Marvel's still like meaningfully stronger, except you have to play her mid. You have to play her mid if you're going to get the full strength.
She's really fun to Winds of Watum.
Oh my gosh, that's evil. Her condition is harder.
A wizard.
It just is. Okay. This change huge. Infinity Ultron goes from 5'8" to 5'6". Humorously, this happened in the patch, but none of the stones were changed. So he's had a nerf for 2 days. But then the OTA will hit and all of his stones will be buffed. The Power Stone goes from 3-2 to 2-1. That's the one that doubles his power. I don't know how to read these off. Like, I don't remember what his stones do yet. I haven't played that much of them. I haven't faced that much of them.
I'm going to try not to learn them still.
Yeah. Reality Stone, that's the one that adds a drone that matches his power. It goes from 3-1 to 2-1. Time Stone, put a card from your hand here. The Red Wing card goes from 3-1 to 2-3. That's a giant buff. And then the Space Stone, like Time Stone and Space Stone were the ones that everybody thought were like the worst, and they both got huge buffs. A Space Stone, the one that moves the lowest power enemy card here to Infinity Ultron's location, goes from 3-4 to 2-5. Soul Stone is the one that for each full location gives +2 to one of the cards there, 3-3 to 2-3. And then the Mind Stone, the Wong, goes 3-2 to 2-2. So they all just lost a cost, except for the ones that were weak, and they lost a cost and gained power. Like I would be surprised if Infinity Ultron is not a good card now.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed because I skipped it because I can read.
Okay.
I have an equal and opposite reaction to that, in that I am super excited to play this, and I am super excited I'm super antagonistic towards playing against it. Like, I do not want to see this on the other side of me, but it looks so fun to play.
Yeah, kind of for the same, like, you get 2 good cards, you don't know what they are, your opponent doesn't know what they are, and so yes, that's...
But no, in seriousness, this card did need to be better. I'm glad they buffed it. It's fine.
But it's got so many possibilities that when I play against it, it's going to be too hard for me to like figure out whether I'm going to beat them or not, because I don't know which stones they have. I don't know how it's going to go. Yeah. But on my side, I love that.
Yeah. Super hard to play against if he's good.
I'm just annoyed that I have to think about this card, because I was perfectly happy not thinking about this card pretty much ever at all.
Well, after this OTA hits, you're going to see it everywhere, which is where I'm like, I'm excited about it now. But
I don't know why people are playing it. They keep playing it, and I don't understand it entirely.
It's just
it must
fun.
be working
That's
for someone.
It's a fun
Someone's
card.
probably playing that deck. Is there someone like really good who has a good Infinity Ultron deck, and like I'm just running into a bunch of imitators who aren't playing it properly or something? But like, I've been seeing so much Infinity Ultron these days. Before this buff,
for this OTA, that's what I'm saying. They're getting ready. They're learning the stones.
I guess they are.
Yeah, this is a card like Bruce Banner that I prefer to be fun than good, or just fun.
I lost one yesterday to a Bruce Banner.
Oh shit!
I lost it. It was on the board for one turn and it hulked out.
Heck yeah!
Yeah.
Oh, people
and of course they had to
Sinister
emote me
London.
about it. Great job, bud.
They emoted me. That happened to me because Sinister London's the hot location. They played 2 Bruce Banners. They both popped. And they were like laughing because they got a double Cosmo down on my little werewolf. I'm playing all these on reveals. But like, they're so dumb because it was the hand swap location on turn 6 was coming. I think they maybe thought I would like cancel it with one of my location things. No, I let my hand fill up with my useless arrows and my useless Merlin spells. And then I didn't play hardly anything on turn 5. And then when I got their turn 6 hand, I had like a 3 Scar and a 3 She-Hulk. And I played that on Sinister London and beat their double Bruce Banners. And it's just
beautiful.
like, and they like Miss Marveled me. I'm like, you saw the location. You Cosmo'd my dinky little hand of cards. What did you think was happening? Oh, it was glorious. I was
I love.
You deserve what
and
you got. And
the emoter in my story, they didn't actually play a Bruce Banner when it was on the board for one turn. This was, of course, a Merlin polymorph Bruce Banner that they fucking lucked into and still had to emote me about.
One polymorphed into a freaking Hulk.
Yep.
Oh, polymorph is dangerous. It's dangerous.
No, it's a very powerful spell.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. Yes. And it is also fun, but yeah.
I've been doing a little bit of booster farming. Not a ton. Just like I have like, I don't know, 15 cards that I'm just trying to get to infinity. Or I'm trying to get them to green and out of my bonus booster shop. So I only need like 10 boosters for them. 15. Upgrade them and then get them out of my shop. Anyway, there was Prodigy and Bruce Banner in that set. And as soon as I noticed that, I thought of Ree's story with copying the Bruce Banner with Prodigy. I've been doing that. That's fun. It's not a good deck. It is always funny when you win against a real deck with a booster farming deck. You're like, what went wrong here that you lost to me? Like, my deck has no synergy. I'm running Scorn and Proxima Midnight with no discarders. Like,
okay, yeah. But to be fair, if you're trying to for serious put Prodigy and Evo, you're probably copying like a Cyclops or something, not a Bruce. But yeah,
I don't know. Fun. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
A really good chance of getting at least one Hulk that way. Okay. On to our side quests. First and only this week, secret homework assigned by me. It was, what do you most want to see from Marvel Snap this year? That is what's written down. What do you most want to see from Marvel Snap this year? I think I said it a second dinner, but Marvel Snap is probably the better answer because that's what I care about. Not about what their second game might be. And I had several ideas for this. You know, a lot of it could be like quality of life stuff. Like, I just want them to focus on bugs. Like, give us a patch that will clean up the bugs. But I think, like, if I'm thinking about my own retention in the game, this is one that I'm stealing from one of our listeners. Because it's perfect. It's exactly what I want. It is going to help my retention the most. I want an unranked mode. I don't know how this works, but I don't like Proving Grounds. It's too slow. It's too, like, people go in there and they do booster farming and experience farming, and I don't know how you deal with that in an unranked mode. Like, how do you make an unranked mode that doesn't end up with just people going in there to farm?
I mean, I'm sure there will be some people going in there to farm, right?
Yeah, and if you take out all the XP,
because otherwise
like that,
no one will go in there.
Right. If you take out all the XP and stuff, then it's like, oh, well, it's better. It's going to be better for me to play Proving Grounds or Ranked if I'm going to be spending my time on Snap anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it looks like.
Let us get missions and friendlies, you know?
Yeah,
so we can play our friends and be doing our chores.
I don't think that's going to hurt anything. It's not going to depopulate the other queues. It's like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, like, reward us for having friends, please. That's already a difficult enough feat for adults.
That'd be another way to expand alliances and all that. Just add a social element to the game. I would love, like, real unranked that I could match into randos. You know, I could do unranked. I can do, like, friendly battles. I can do that. But I can't do the ranked mode format, single game. I can't do that in unranked mode. And I don't know how many players this would benefit, but it would benefit me immensely because I do like climbing ladder, but I also like doing silly shit. And, you know, there's a side of me that's like, oh, fuck my rank. And I lose 25,000 rank doing silly shit. And then it's like, okay, well, later when I'm feeling competitive, I have to build it back up.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge pain. I mean, like, I would use your unranked mode.
Unranked is a great place to do, like, cooking, you know?
Right, yeah.
Because Proving Ground, the battle is just a different format. People are there for a different reason. And the like, managing your life is different than managing your cubes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's cook second dinner.
I would love a true unranked mode. It also would just, like, inherently make the ranked mode more competitive. Like, if anybody's queuing into ranked, it's because they want to be playing ranked mode.
This is true.
Okay. Reassigns next week's homework. So Ben, what is your answer for this week?
All right. Well, what I would like to see really is just another mode. Like, how have we gotten this far without any new game modes? Really, like, I mean, except for these temporary ones. But like, like, honestly, folks, how have we not added a limited mode of any kind? And that's what I would like it to be personally. I would like some kind of a limited mode. And
Can you help me understand what that means? Is it rotation?
Okay. No, although I think they should probably start doing that too. But no, like a limited mode would be like sealed or draft. Like if you've played any Hearthstone, there's Arena. That's their limited format. Like it.
I don't know what sealed means.
Okay, that's where like you open some packs and stuff, and then you're allowed to use those cards. And you would like build your deck only from the cards that you opened.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like drafting minus the passing and stuff. And so there's you're not trying to manage other people's situations while you're doing it. It's like it's more of a self-contained, isolated thing. And like when these online card or like when Hearthstone does it, like people like think of Arena as being like a draft mode, but it's not. It's really more like sealed. But anywho, because you're not screwing people over and trying to cut off their opportunities and stuff. But anywho, the draft mode, as like they've complained, like we just don't know how we would do draft mode. So I thought about it for them. You know, here's what I was thinking. So for the first round in this draft. Again, it's a misnomer. It's not really drafting what I'm describing here. You'd start with a deck that had all the vanillas between 1 and 6. So no Wasp, but Misty through Hulk. And then I think we would start with a themed 3-card package. The other thing I thought about doing was just like start with the starter deck that you start Marvel Snap with. And I believe that's Quicksilver, Hawkeye, Misty Knight, Medusa, Star-Lord, Shocker, Punisher, Cyclops, The Thing, Iron Man, Abomination, and the Hulk. So like that was one thing, but I thought it would be more fun to start with a 9-card deck, which is just the 6 vanillas and then a themed 3-card package. And so like, let me give you an example of like what that themed 3-card package would look like. These would all be a 1 cost, a 2 cost, and a 3 cost. And so like maybe it would be the same every time. Maybe the same options would be offered. You'd have like your favorite starting package or whatever. But like here's a sample. Like it would be themed around X-Men, and you'd get Kitty Pryde, Psylocke, and Gambit. And like Kitty Pryde and Psylocke and Gambit don't really have anything to do with each other, but each of them like could start taking you in a direction for like what you want your deck's identity to become. Like maybe you want to do like discard things with Gambit, or maybe Gambit is just like a strong like removal thing in this limited situation. But yeah, so you have your first game, you've got your boring vanilla cards and then your 3 small things, and then you win that game, and then you get to pick a new card, and then your deck is up to 10 cards. So for the first 3 games, you're adding a card until you get up to 12, and then you can start swapping cards as you get the things. This would operate on probably like some kind of a ticket system, like Sanctum Showdown or whatever, or maybe not exactly like that. I don't know, but like you'd be able to buy your way in, and that's always exciting for me. Like I'm sure there would be like prizes, so you could in theory attempt to go infinite, where like if you get good enough at your limited format, you can afford to play the limited format forever. I love that sort of thing. That's what I like to pursue. Anywho, so I was thinking that there's great power in choosing from one of 3 things. Hades does it, Slay the Spire does it, the Bazaar does it when you're going to different things for every hour of the day. They always give you 3 choices. So yeah, choosing 3 is like, it's a pretty it's the Hearthstone Arena thing. Like everybody knows that choosing from one of 3 options is great. So I'm thinking that after every round, you can sort of target something. Like you'll be offered 3 like packs to choose from, and each pack would have 3 cards in it. And so like after every round, you'd find 3 packs. They'd be like they'd you'd have some indication of what could be inside of them. Like maybe it would be like X-Men pack or Destroy pack or Move pack or like expensive Move pack, and that would be like 5 or 6 cost move cards or something. Like you would see like 3 things that had like groupings, and you could probably preview them like snap packs where you can see what could be in your snap pack. You would see like what's on the list. And I was thinking that the themed packs probably had weirder or more powerful or more specific cards. Like there's no advantage to picking an X-Men pack, right? Unless it's the only way you can get like a weird X-Men card. Like it's the only pack that has like Professor X in it, or like, you know, like some weird card that like other, I don't know. So I thought about some things, some ways. I don't know. I'm doing such a bad job explaining it. I kind of feel like maybe I should just, like, put my
can I
notes
tell
in
you what I
speakeasy.
love?
Do tell.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I am loving your idea because like you said, in Hearthstone, the idea, and I preferred this format to picking 3. I mean, Slay the Spire is a bit different, starting with a basic deck, but like that idea, right, is where you get, you know, you make the best deck you can out of the set of packs you've opened, and then you take that deck as far as you can, you know, as many wins as you can. But what you have done is like, okay, but what if we make this a miniature version of the onboarding experience for a player?
Because we all have positive associations with that.
Right?
Yep. Everybody loves it.
Very remembers starting with
it's
the
very
basics
much the Iron Man 1 of Marvel Snap.
And this is what it would let you do too with things that don't make a sense, like that don't make as much sense anymore once you have the big meta and you have all of this. When you have this and you're facing people that also don't have the whole collections, is you could do stuff as like pick a discard deck and a destroy package and build a little like combo, because when you're onboarding, like when I started, it's like, oh, I started, you know, with this card, but then once I got Carnage, it's like, well, Carnage is great, you know what I mean? And I started mixing Destroy with some stuff, and you get these little synergies that like wouldn't be like an S tier deck that you could play when you're playing at the high end that we play at. But when you can get creative with cards because you don't have a complete set and you're playing against other people without complete sets, it's like that's the perfect idea for like a drafting experience, a mini onboarding experience, trying to recapture some of that nostalgia we have for it. So I think that's a great idea.
Also, if the sample X-Men start package I described did not like, if those 3 cards sounded boring to you, what about this sample Spider-Man start package? Spider-Ham, Spider-Man, and Venom. 1 through 3 cost cards that don't really have anything to do with each other, but like they're all independently sort of playable in that kind of way. Like you're never angry that you have Spider-Ham in your hand or whatever. You're never angry to see Spider-Man. And like every kind of deck can sometimes find a very clever thing to do with a generated Venom or whatever. So like I really think it wouldn't be that hard to set up like a frame. Like maybe not every card has a home in this limited sort of like roguelike run based mode that I'm describing. Like, sorry, maybe we're never playing Thanos in this mode. Maybe Thanos is not involved. Maybe Agamotto's not involved. Like, you know, this wouldn't, I don't know. I think there would be ways to like sort of prune Marvel Snap and what's in it to make it like very replayable, and like I think that it could be like very like creatively fulfilling while still like being kept on the rails with like I think the systems could be managed in it would be really fun. I don't know why they haven't done this yet. I kind of think that they should have tried harder, I guess, is all I'm trying to like. I thought about it for not that long, and I think I've had some good ideas that could be refined into better ideas. Fun. And I hope they try harder.
And it's rewarding for the people who love to cook. Like I just mentioned how all the time I'm building together little silly decks. And even when I win, sometimes there's just not a spark of fun for me there to keep it together long term. But I'm constantly just like throwing this in deck, playing a few games. And it's like, but like ladder, like most stuff doesn't reward it. If you're putting in the time for a deck, you're cooking and you're trying to make a legit deck. So getting to enjoy, to reward the people who get a reward in a very lighter stakes, lower, like you're not all encompassing, you're cooking in a in a more casual way that's more on the fly and improv-y, it's like, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to reward people with this. Love it.
So as far as things that maybe I meant to mention that like I don't think I did, you would probably have like some number of losses you could sustain before like you're kicked out.
Yeah.
I think in Hearthstone Arena it's 3 losses. That's fine. Like the Bazaar does this prestige system that's perhaps a little more complicated than we would want for this mode. But something like in the vein of those 2 systems would be good. Yeah. Also, I think maybe I described the packs that you get after each game. Like I described them probably about as well as I would, but like you would pick from one of 3 packs, and each of those packs would have 3 cards. So like you would be picking from one of 3 things to get a new choice of one of 3 things, and then after that you play that deck in the next round and do it all over again. I never know like which games our listeners have played and which games they haven't, and like what things they'll assume that I'm talking about or not. I don't know. But yeah, if you have any questions about it, hit me up in the speakeasy. I kind of want to like just publish my notes or whatever, because it's all a bit complicated, but I don't know. It's like not that complicated if you're used to these sorts of things. I don't know. I think that
people would learn.
Yeah. And people like these are fun things. Like when you fail at a roguelike, the reaction you usually have is like, oh, I got to do that again, but a little better, right? Like I know what I did wrong. I know what I could do better, but like, yeah, I really think that the community would dig this kind of thing, and these modes can like breathe new life into a game. Like when Battlegrounds came to Hearthstone, that was like woo. In fact, it's still like woo. I still get in there, play some Battlegrounds with my partner and stuff.
I think
modes are good.
I think Sealed and Roguelike both sound like very fun spins on Marvel Snap. Okay, Ree.
All right, so mine is not a whole new mode, but mine was easy. As soon as you said it, the past 2 weeks, I've known immediately, and it's just how it is, so I can't change. Like you said, what would get you to stop playing the game? I need them to fix their technical stuff, because, as I mentioned before, I'm playing on my Snapsoul, my old phone that has no battery, that has to stay plugged in, because on my new phone, it just crashes all the time, and I really don't think that it's my phone, and it's you know what I mean? I think it's like part of it's just that it's a crashy game on phones, on multiple phones, and even I almost rarely play on my PC, but I was lately because of my inability to let go my streak of infinites, and like there's still stuff where it's like I'll click on the collection button and it's like what? My whole computer froze up, or the game froze up. I'm like, oh no, it just oftentimes just takes like 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, because it's, and then there's this stuff like the dot in the shop, and it's just like, I've worked in software for a long time. I do software, and it's like, those are things I would fix. The very visible, obvious, glaring things that, especially when they go wrong for a really long time. And it's like, I've been in software, so I know how it works and how it gets moved, and I know the difficulties, and it's got to be prioritized, because if my Snapsoul goes down and I can't play on my phone, I will just not get to play very much from only playing on my computer. So that's mine. I feel like we've talked about the problems before, so I'm just going to go right into next week's homework. I was actually thinking about, we're coming up on a year, I mean, it's still like another 10 episodes of doing the podcast and stuff. And also, I think one of our listeners, had been curious about how we all got into this, and so that's our secret homework for this week. Is next week I want you to tell the story of how you got into the Snap community. Right, and I'm even curious, it's like, even I know we have people that participate in our Discord. I don't know if we have listeners that just listen to the podcast and aren't involved in any social media or forums or anything, but like, by the act of choosing to listen to a podcast, you've gotten involved in the community in some way. And there's something about it's like, do you do that for every game you play? Do you for card games? What are you just looking for like-minded souls? I'm curious what does anyone else hear that?
I hear music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
Does this sound intentional? Intentional timing of the music? Wait, oh. It was Zencaster. I hit some button.
I was like...
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that threw everything off. I'm so sorry. I don't even know.
That's pretty much the your homework. Yeah. So tell your stories. If anyone wanted to share, if anyone who's never reached out just listens, it's I don't know. It was a big thing for me. I was, getting into an online community. So I'm hearing everyone's stories. That's the secret homework.
I love it. Okay. If you liked what you heard, tune in next week, please. Also, like, comment, subscribe, review, etc. You can leave comments on YouTube or on Spotify. Come hang out with us in the Speakeasy. It's a little tiny section of the Snap Judgments League Discord because we are part of the Snap Judgments Network, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Decisions, hosted by Joe. Normally on Tuesdays, I think, is the normal show, but I believe he just had Pulse Glazer on as a guest. Anyway, great show by somebody with radio DJ experience and kind of a casual spin on the game, but also a longtime comics fan and a big MCU fan. If you would like to figure out how to get into that Discord, the instructions are in the show notes or video description. And if you want to hear about Ben's journey through the Golden Gauntlet 2, tune in next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
You want to tell us any of your cool wedding stuff, Lauren?
Yeah.
Cool wedding stuff.
It's all cool because it's your wedding. That's just assumed, Lauren.
Yeah. Sure. Today I had my bachelorette party. It was just my kid and I. My kid is my Reggie of honor. Yep, that was Reggie's choice for the title. I wore a bride pin as we went to this beach-themed arcade. Today is a place that we went to a lot, like 10 years ago. So it was kind of nostalgic and fun, and we did like arcade games and laser tag and mini putt, but it was croquet. That was very fun. The reason my
was there a castle in the mini croquet? What was the themed?
It was like Utah themed, so it was like desert. It was a little dry.
But like that's what you already have there. The whole point is to have like dragons and like Trogdor and shit that you don't have in the real world.
Yeah, there wasn't like
I'm very disappointed
element.
though.
Yeah.
Or space. It doesn't have to be fancy. Okay. Anyway.
The laser tag had I don't know, maybe this is standard. It's not something I've experienced before. They had a little like thing you could push on the side of the gun that would give it a laser sight. That was cool.
Oh, yeah? I want to do laser tag so hard. I've never gotten to.
Reggie's trying to tell me something. What?
They also have different like settings on the like different types of things you could use. I used the shield a lot.
Oh, there were settings on the gun. I didn't use them at all, but apparently Reggie was using the shield, and maybe that's why I got my ass kicked in so many of our skirmishes. Yeah, I knew there was like a rapid fire also, but I was laser focused.
Next level comedy. I love it.
My bachelorette party is so sparse because my sister gets in like late tomorrow, I think. And it was just like too close to the wedding. So we're doing a sibling board game night.
Is this the same one who used to snitch on you when you were creating custom characters?
No.
Okay.
No.
What board games you playing? You should play Millennium Blades. It's a mini card collecting game. No, don't play it. It's too much for one. It mimics the whole cycle of the card game collection experience. It made Ben's stuff made me think of it. Sorry,
that's cool.
Continue with your wedding stuff.
So it's like Tuesday or something like that. We're doing the bachelorette party, even though I will be married at that time. My sister lives out of state. My other siblings are in Utah, but my sister's out of state, and so I've like really wanted to get sibling time. And we all love board games, so that's the obvious thing to do. We are also doing like a magical themed escape room, and then we're doing board games. I'm not sure what we'll play. My favorite for like casual 4-player is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Probably get that. Yeah, some variant of Wingspan. There's also Wormspan and Finspan. Those are all fun.
Wait, Finspan? I haven't heard of that one. Is that a fish one?
It's fish, yeah. And like difficulty-wise, Finspan is the easiest one. Wormspan is the most complex one.
Is it like pretty fish or boring fish? Like, is it like salmon or is it like fancy goldfish?
There's a lot of fancy ones. A lot of weirdos. A lot of like creepy abyssal creatures. And yeah, it's great.
Not to knock salmon. They're very sturdy, hardworking creatures. Okay. Sorry. I feel bad now. I feel like I've insulted salmon.
You know all the salmon that listen to our podcast?
I know, but like they work so hard to go upstream, and it's like one of those like Penguins March moments, and it's like, oh, did I just I didn't mean to pick on salmon. It was just the first thing that came to mind for like a not super pretty. Okay. All right, I'm done.
It's okay. Yeah. So between those, you know, there will be a wedding and a short honeymoon, and I look forward to having that one-on-one time with Jess. My brother is officiating and also house sitting, and babysitting. Yeah. It'll be a great weekend. We don't get away very often. I'm a homebody. I like staying in, but we'll have a little taste of adventure. We're not leaving Utah, but it'll be fun.
Oh, that sounds lovely.